The village of Avani slumbered beneath the watchful gaze of Mount Cinderheart. Nestled amidst emerald valleys and shimmering rivers, it was a place where life moved at the pace of the seasons. The villagers lived in harmony with nature. They were simple folk, their days filled with laughter and toil. Protecting them was a young warrior named Kale.
Brave and strong, Kale was the village's shield against the dangers lurking beyond their tranquil borders. Kale possessed a heart full of courage and a spirit that resonated with the mountains themselves. His loyalty to his people was unwavering, an unbreakable vow woven into his very being. He patrolled the village borders with unwavering dedication. His eyes, sharp as an eagle's, scanned the horizon for any sign of threat. His hand rested lightly on the pommel of his sword, always ready.
One fateful evening, as the sky blazed with the hues of the setting sun, Kyle encountered a sight that would change his life forever. A creature of immense power, a stag with antlers that scraped the heavens, lay wounded on the forest floor. It was the guardian of time, a sacred being revered by Kyle's people since time immemorial. An arrow, dark and venomous, protruded from its flank. The stag's eyes, pools of ancient wisdom, met Kyle's with a plea for salvation.
Without hesitation, Kyle acted. He drew upon his training and his deep connection to the natural world. With steady hands, he removed the arrow and used his knowledge of herbal remedies to staunch the bleeding. As he worked, he felt a surge of power, ancient and unknown, coursing through his veins. It was a gift bestowed upon him by the grateful guardian of time, a gift that would bind his destiny to the very fabric of time itself.
As the guardian of time regained its strength, it turned its luminous gaze upon Kyle. Its voice, when it spoke, was a deep rumble that seemed to echo from the beginning of time itself.
You have shown me great kindness, young warrior, and for that I shall bestow upon you a gift. The power to command time shall be yours, to use for the protection of your people.
And with a flash of golden light, Kyle was imbued with the ability to manipulate the very essence of time. At first, it was a glorious gift. Kyle could accelerate time, healing the sick and injured in the blink of an eye. He could slow it down, giving himself an advantage in battle and outmaneuvering his enemies. He could even rewind it, preventing accidents and misfortunes before they could occur. The villagers hailed him as a hero, their savior, a living legend. They sang songs of his bravery and the miraculous feats he accomplished.
But with every manipulation of time, Kale felt a change within himself. His hair, once the color of raven's feathers, began to streak with silver. Lines etched themselves onto his face, a testament to the toll his powers were taking. He was aging, not at the natural pace of mortals, but at an accelerated rate, each use of his abilities chipping away at his own lifespan. Kale realized that the gift he had been given was a double-edged sword. The very power that allowed him to protect his people was also slowly consuming him from within. The realization weighed heavily upon him, casting a shadow over his once bright spirit. He was caught in a cruel paradox, his duty to his people inexorably linked to his own demise.
Years turned into decades. Kyle's legend grew with each passing season. He was a symbol of hope, a beacon of strength in a world that often seemed on the brink of chaos. His name was whispered with reverence and awe. Mothers told their children tales of his bravery, instilling in them the values of courage and selflessness that he embodied.
But even as the villagers celebrated their protector, Kale wrestled with the burden of his gift. He watched as the seasons changed with unnatural speed, the cycle of life and death spinning at a dizzying pace around him. He saw children grow old and pass away, their entire lives flashing before his eyes like fleeting dreams.
He felt the relentless march of time upon his own body, the constant reminder that his power was finite, his time limited, the weight of his responsibility pressed down on him, threatening to crush his spirit. The joy he had once found in protecting his people was now tinged with a bittersweet sorrow. The laughter of children, once a source of delight, now served as a poignant reminder of the fleeting nature of time. The changing seasons, once a symbol of renewal, now underscored the ephemeral nature of his own existence. He was a prisoner in his own gilded cage, forever bound to the wheel of time, yet forever separate from its natural rhythm. The whispers started subtly. At first, they were just fleeting thoughts, doubts that crept into Cale's mind like shadows in the night. But as he grew older, as the toll of his powers became increasingly apparent, the whispers grew louder, more insistent.
Was it right, he wondered, to continue using his gift at the cost of his own life? Was he prolonging the inevitable, merely postponing the day when his people would have to face the world without him? The thought of abandoning his duty, of allowing harm to befall those he had sworn to protect, filled him with a profound sense of guilt and shame.
Yet the desire for a normal life, a life free from the burden of his gift, tugged at his heartstrings. He yearned for the simplicity of his younger days, for the carefree laughter and the camaraderie of his fellow villagers. He longed to experience the world without the weight of time on his shoulders, to feel the sun on his face and the wind in his hair, without the constant awareness of his own mortality. The conflict raged within him, a battle between duty and self-preservation, between his love for his people and his longing for a life that was no longer within his grasp. He was torn between two worlds, belonging to neither. His existence a delicate balance between sacrifice and survival.